Welcome to Rock and Roll Damnation, Sherro, and how are you both?
Good.
Yep.
G'day. Yeah.
Can't complain. So that's good.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining me as we get a chance to sort of catch up ahead of the Rockers Not Dead Festival, which takes place at the Koala Tavern in Brisbane on the 1st of February. For those that aren't familiar with who Stone Rising are, tell us a little bit about the band, the brand of rock and roll that you play, and give us a brief history of the band.
Right. All right. Brief history. That's probably my job. Um, Band started in 2009, but back then we were known as the Heartless Bastards. And not long after sort of running with that name, we found there was a band in America doing quite well with it. And so we thought, well, we'll just change it slightly. So we knocked it down to the Bastards. And then 2011, we entered into a Battle of the Bands competition at Twin Towns, and we entered as the Bastards and the Suburbs got in, but the Bastards didn't. So we kind of figured at some point, if we want to do anything with this, we'll probably have to change the name. So, skipping forward, I guess the original vocalist left, what, 2018?
2019.
2019.
Hmm.
And well, actually, before that, I guess we should say that Shah come into the band about 2018. Was it
2017?
2017?
Yeah, that's okay. Who's keeping record? Yeah.
I'm supposed to be the historian. I'm doing well so far.
I just came in on bass. I just thought
She came in on bass.
just have a little fine time up the back with the drummer and hang out and just do nothing. But obviously that didn't work out.
And yeah, so when the vocalist left, we spent a year trying to find someone to replace him, and we just had no luck. So I knew how Shah could sing, so I just said, well, why don't you just step up and do that, and we'll find someone to play bass. So we did that, and then we've lost the bass player, so Shah's had to go back on to pulling dual duties. So
I'm used to being the utility player. It's okay.
yeah. So, and I think, when was the album released? 2019.
Yeah, it was released in 2019.
Yeah,
We
so
recorded it in October 2018.
2018, and we had a bit of fun getting that mixed and finalized. But
Well, the actual recording of it, if you wanted
Yeah.
to explain, went really easy because we wanted to record it as a live band.
Yeah.
So, Robbie's, your amps were in one room, my amp was in another room.
Yeah.
We had Dave in the room with us. We just wanted Dave the drummer, and we just held headphones and we just recorded the album live. And so we did 13 songs on the Saturday and we did 3 songs on the Sunday. And they were sort of surprised with us. They said, well, we didn't think you would get this far. You'd probably be on the lounge with a beer or something. We went, no, we're not here to muck around. And so we set up on the Friday. We recorded 13 songs Saturday, 3 songs on the Sunday, which were the slower songs. We thought we're going with a different vibe. By Sunday afternoon, Rowie was on to his lead breaks. So, yeah.
It was a pretty quick process.
Yeah, we did it down at Hydrofunk Studios in Mullumbimby, which is Dave Atkins runs that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a remarkable effort, knocking over 13 songs in one day, even as just a live performance. And having had a listen to that first album, I mean, there is a rawness to it, and there is that live energy to it. And that was something I was going to ask you about, obviously, because then when we take the step to move to Rocks on Revox in 2022, which sort of shows the evolution, I guess, of where you guys have come to.
Yeah.
Certainly with you, Shah, taking the reins on vocals and just the different approach to some of the songs. And it's just like hearing Spotify was really cool because it gave me the ability to listen to song from the first album, and then straight after it was the new version. It's like, damn, all right, this is.
And we've done this here too because fortunately we already designed this cover to take 2 things. And so when someone buys it now, they'll still get, the original CD from the first recording.
Yeah.
And then we've just put the one that I revoxed in the other side. So they get both versions of the album.
That's
Because
incredible.
not trying to make it past, I just thought we'll put it all in there together.
2 for 1.
Yeah, too far.
Yeah, that's amazing. No, it's great. I love seeing and hearing the evolution of bands and artists, how they changed. There's a band out of Sydney, Little Mirage, who are much the same. They started off as an all-male band, and they brought in an incredible female singer, and she's just sung over the top of what they've already done. And hearing the two dynamics is amazing, and it's something that I found with you guys as well. So I really enjoyed at Revox actually. So congratulations on that too.
Because I said to her, it's not going to be anything like before.
Yeah.
It's going to be, it's going to just be completely different. I said, it's not going to be nice. And he went, no, that's okay.
Yeah. She said, it won't be girly.
No, it won't be girly. No.
Now, Shay, your voice is something that captivated me too. I'm trying to put my finger on it. There are so many little things that I find in your voice that just I haven't heard in a very long time. I just love.
Yep.
There's a rasp to it. There's a sort of a soul, and there's also a power to it that I don't know what it is. It's just completely blown me away. Who are your influences, and you know, where does
this is an impossible question. Yeah, because I grew up singing along to opera librettos and musical comedy, and my parents used to listen to a lot of the Seekers and things like that. So I really didn't. They're probably the influences, and then I don't know after that. So I don't really listen to a lot of music or take notes of what singers are doing. Really, not at all. So it's just whatever noise comes out from whatever I have heard in the past. But I certainly don't try and be a certain style. But what I would say to people that sing and anyone that wants to sing is channel whatever mess is going on in your life, whether it's good, bad, indifference. Put all that energy into the singing, and it'll just be some of the flavor of the singing. So I think that's all it is.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's amazing. Again, I can't put my finger on who it reminds me of, but there are elements of everything in there, and that's really cool. It's like I'm transported back to 70s hard rock like Heart, and then I get hints of Alana Miles and Black Velvet just with.
Yeah, people say that about the Heart thing, and they also say about compare me to Grace Slick, and then there's another one our mates listen to a lot. Helene listens to a lot. Shocking Blue, and that's what she says. It's like that too.
I get every now and then a little bit of Janis Joplin.
Yeah, just be rawness.
Yeah.
But I didn't listen to that.
No.
So yeah.
That's incredible. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Now, the big news is that you guys are obviously a part of the Rockers Not Dead Festival. How did you come to be involved with that, and how did you get to know the guys, Shane and Pablo, behind it all?
It's Pablo.
Well, that would be, that was last year.
Yeah, last year in April.
At the Mansfield Tavern.
Yeah.
Unbeknownst to us, that Pablo actually quite enjoyed the band, so we were a bit surprised.
Yeah, we just had a yarn to him.
I think that no one likes us, but
I don't think that. I don't think that. But
no, but he made himself known to us, and we've just chatted randomly since then, and he just put the call out, and we said, sure, love to be part of it.
Yeah, and it's funny, on his Spotify list, we've come up top, one of the top plays, and another mate in Stockholm, the top plays in Spotify list. We thought that was amusing.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Hilarious.
That's the stuff that people, aspire to from music.
Yeah.
And
well, if you're making people happy, that's good.
That's exactly right. I mean, music connects in so many different ways, and the fact that you've been able to find that connection with people is incredible. And I guess that's a part of the fun of doing it as well, I guess.
Absolutely, because you never know what you're going to walk into. But we just sort of prep like we're going into some sort of little musical battle, and we just go in, prepped, right, here we go, bang, get this up here, and then we get off. And, you know, the same in 22. We didn't know what our audience response was going to be in the middle of Stockholm to an unknown band. And they were singing along with the songs and they had a great time, wanted to hug us to death when we got off. Even the sound guy, he's like, you guys, you just came and you punched him in the face and you just kept going.
Oh, he
Like,
said,
thank you.
what he said, he goes, "Oh, I'm so glad you guys didn't do what every other band does when they play here." It's at a rock pub in Stockholm,
Yeah.
Banker. And he said they come here and they try and warm the crowd up. He said, "You guys came out, punched us in the face,
And
and just kept going." I was like, "Cool,
Yeah.
we'll take that."
Yeah. No, that's. I actually checked out some footage from the Bridge Hotel of you guys from not so long ago, and my God, live, you guys again carry over that rawness and that energy so well. I'm really looking forward to your set of Rock Is Not Dead. I reckon it's going to be a great one. But I guess more importantly, the community that's built around all of this. How important is it for you guys to be involved and to be among, you know, other emerging independent artists on a festival bill that's been put together by two guys that are just, you know, so passionate about music, especially Australian rock and roll music?
It's very important to be around like-minded people because that's where the strength of this music is. And still trying to get out to Australians like, yeah, okay, that is a bit of a cliche, rock isn't dead, but they kind of think it is in this country and it's not. I mean, I know we have the tyranny of distance and that sometimes is against us, but the band should join together, and whether it's, you know, 8 like on this bill, 4, 2, join together, do some shows, you know, and showcase yourselves, just go out and do whatever. But I understand how it is a little bit disheartening, especially with the travel in this country. And, you know, sometimes you might be playing to 2 men and a dog, but, you know, you've got to get your name around.
Well, it's the whole thing of being original music, as I think we all understand. It's unfortunately now it's not. It's a harder road to go down. I mean, everyone's going out seeing cover bands. They want to see Eagle Rock played and Brown Eyed Girl and you know, when you're original artists, you don't always get that support. So to have something like this is bloody fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and like it's. I know there's always money involved, but even if it's just something regular that everyone can touch base and play their music and just keep getting it out there, you know, even if it wasn't like a completely organised festival, but somewhere. I'm not talking about a jam, but you know, go, right, okay, this venue is going to host X original bands every week, blah, 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 you know, just so you know. And also the Oz Muso's not, you know, getting in each other's face either. You know, it's meant to be, you know, your colleagues. You're not in competition. You've got to hold this together, because if we don't work together, it's not going to work at all.
Yeah.
No, and it's interesting that you say that too, because I mean the foundation of, I guess, where we became really strong as a nation in the 80s and early 90s was that there was a camaraderie amongst the bands. Sure, they were out to one up each other, but it was a healthy camaraderie.
That's okay. Healthy camaraderie.
That's how you get
competition.
That's how you get a good show.
Yeah, exactly. Because I know some Aussies, like, they think, oh, what's the point? Why are we bothering, all this kind of stuff? But I understand being beaten back by lack of crowds and lack of exposure and all of that stuff. It's not like you're on a super ego trip, but you just want to be able to play your stuff. And I understand they're really knocked about in this country, and it's really done a big job. But, you know, and I say this at gigs too, people overseas say to us, why are Aussie bands so tough? And I go, well, if you had to play to an Australian audience, you'd be tough too. And they don't get that, because they're quite, you know, gracious audiences, and they're going, yeah, play some stuff. But we always got some tough road here, you know.
Yeah,
it's again, it's funny that you mentioned that, because I know guys that, like, I used to live in Tasmania, and I know a lot of guys that have moved from Tassie to pursue, you know, playing in bands in Melbourne or bringing a band over to Melbourne. And they always perceived that the bar was so much higher over here. And they surprised themselves, you know, because they did the hard yards and they believed that they had to be better and that they had to do this because they're playing to these constant smaller crowds, you know. So it puts a fire under you to go and be better and to work your craft even harder, I think.
Absolutely.
So and that's why Aussie bands have played with the power and the passion that we do, you know.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
No, I even hear it in some bands overseas when they're trying to be a bit Australian and they don't even play as heavy. You know, they're trying to play Australian music and think they've got it. And go, no, you haven't got it.
Yeah.
It's really noticeable.
And Rowie, who are your influences as a guitar player?
Oh, well, when did I start? Be the very late 80s, I suppose. So at the time I was listening to bands like Def Leppard and AC/DC, Guns N' Roses. Probably, I guess my style's probably come out of it somewhere out of there. Don't know if there's, you know, a bit of a cliche, but yeah, Slash was a big influence, but I mean, he's been a big influence on hundreds of thousands of other people as well, you know, but yeah, probably a little bit of him, bit of Def Leppard, bit of AC/DC. I've even been told, like, I remember once I was a lot younger. I was in my early 20s and didn't really know what I was doing. But some bloke said to me, he says, "Oh, guitar sounds great, mate. You've really got that 70s style." And I actually took offence to it at the time because I was an idiot.
That's funny.
Now I'd go, "Well, thank you."
Yeah. That's
you know, because you got that whole you know, I enjoy a lot of Zeppelin and stuff like that as well. But yeah, bands like that, I guess.
Yeah.
Mainly. Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, obviously, Revox was released in 2022. Is there new music coming from you guys, from Stone Rising?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we've already got some in the bank still.
Yeah.
That were as extra songs that we recorded on that crazy weekend as well. But there is more, and we have to find a drummer that could work with it.
Well,
it's okay now.
Our original drummer moved to Wales, so that makes it hard to rehearse. So we've been having to try and find a drummer, and we're working with Aaron at the moment, and he's fantastic, and we're just hoping that he stays because he's super easy to work with. He's a great drummer, and him and I have jammed some stuff out that's it's
and the jamming works. But you know, that's good because essentially what Roy probably didn't say before is Stone Rising was essentially a jam band.
Oh, it was.
So that's how all the songs come about. It wasn't like a bunch of guys sitting down, let's write some songs. They just all merged out of different things.
The original vocalist, I always describe him sort of as a he's like a freestyle rapper, but for rock and roll. He'd get a theme in his head and he'd build a story on the spot. But that meant that every time we played that kind of song, the story would change. So, you know, there would be some themes that would stick. But yeah, so I guess going into the studio was his challenge to actually finish the songs. But it was all very much we could just play and play and play, and that's all we did for a couple of years. It's just we'd never play the same thing twice. So it probably why it took us so long to get a bloody album out, because we'd just go and jam and he'd make up stories, and yeah. So hopefully the next one won't take as long. Although
Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Don't worry about
Scrub that.
Yeah.
It already is taking that long.
Yeah. Don't worry about that.
Hey, we've had some setbacks.
Yeah.
We've lost the vocalist, we've lost the drummer,
Yeah.
we lost the bass player.
Yeah.
All good. It'll all come full circle. It's all meant to be, I think. It's a path. It's a journey to where you guys should be. I guess, you know, of the bands that are playing on Rockers Not Dead, is there anybody that you're looking forward to seeing on the bill?
No, I never do. I just rock along and see what happens. And we know some of the whiskey dudes, you know, Black Whiskey and Bite Whisky. And we had a bit of a giggle the other night saying maybe we should change our name to Stone Whiskey Rising or something just to join in with all the whiskey bands. But no, we've decided not to do that. But more out of curiosity, just seeing bands I haven't seen, and that's what I'm with any festival. I
I'm
don't
looking
sort of go with one in my mind, just go and have a look.
Seeing all of them to see it,
Yeah,
because we'll all be slightly different, so it should be interesting and good.
I mean, we've worked with Snake Bite Whisky
Yeah, that's right.
and Black Whisky before,
Yeah.
so we know them, but we haven't met the other guys. So it'll be just interesting to see everyone else.
We didn't play with Avalanche.
No, I
What
don't
about,
think
who
so.
was that? Oh, okay. I thought
No.
it was the Mansfield Tap. No, okay.
No, that was a different band,
Okay.
starting with A.
Ah.
All
Alright.
right.
There we go.
I guess you guys
Here's a
have
guitar.
I guess you guys have almost answered my next question too. In that is, why should somebody come along to the Rockers Not Dead Festival? And that's obviously
to see new bands.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because I say to people that have a song stuck in their head or this and that, and I go, yeah, but when you first heard that song, it wasn't your favourite song. So you dared taste that day. So what stops you from listening to new music now? But there's a lot of people like that. They can't seem to conceive new music can even exist. They just go, that's my favourite song, and that's all. And that's a bit of a stifling, tragedy for music.
And if they come along, they'll get proven that rock is not dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very far from it.
See, a band to me, like, even if I don't know them from Borough, so don't know, they could be not even playing instruments that I'm familiar with, as long as the vibe and that whole sort of tone is there and they just have this thing, that's what I'll look at. I don't care if they're a particular genre. I don't care what they're playing, as long as it's good.
Char's been dragging me over to the Sweden Rock Festival since 2017. The amount of new bands and music that I've discovered from that is just insane. I'm like, where have these guys been all my life? So come along, take a chance. You might find some bands that you like.
Yeah, but that's what's really good about that festival, just going and just watching whatever unfolds in front of you. If you don't know that band, just watch them.
That's right.
Yeah, and I guess the beauty of this festival being put together is I've actually discovered 3 or 4 bands that I hadn't heard before or that I hadn't seen live, and I'm now super amped to come along and see it all live and catch up with you all and buy some merch, to support local music. So you will have that album for sale at Rockers Not Dead?
Yes, that album for sale there, and also their t-shirts that will have Stone Rising Dirty Australian Rock.
That's how you describe it. Dirty Australian rock.
Dirty Australian Rock. Yeah.
It's on the shirt.
Yeah, it's on the shirt.
Perfect. Perfect. All right, guys, I'll let you go. Thank you so much for your time, and I will see you at Koala Tavern on the 1st of Feb.
No worries. Thank you. See you.
Catch up for a beer.
Oh yeah.
Thanks again, guys. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.